Hello and welcome to today's webinar on lactation. The presentation today will be presented by Elena Bonsos, Stephanie Guerrero, and myself, Mary Stinson. So let's get started. So what exactly are we going to go over today? Well, first, we're going to go a little bit into the details of the lactation cycle. Then we will explore the importance of breastfeeding. And then after that, we're going to go into the number one reason why women stop breastfeeding early. Then last, we are going to go in depth into ways to support lactation through healthy nutrition and lifestyle. So lactation. The definition of lactation is the secretion of milk by the mammary glands. And the body's preparation for this actually begins during puberty. The first stage is called mammogenesis, and this is when the mammary glands begin to develop. This actually begins in puberty and then is continued during pregnancy and finishes during the pregnancy term. The next step is lactogenesis, and this is when the milk production actually begins in the now fully formed mammary glands. And this stage starts during pregnancy and continues until approximately 10 days postpartum. So hormones' role in lactation is very important and complicated. And it includes almost every hormone your body releases is somehow involved in lactation. And that includes estrogen, progesterone, human growth hormone, prolactin, oxytocin, and human placentolactogen. So this process is very involved, and therefore there are a number of ways and different things that a mother should do nutritionally to get ready to breastfeed. We'll go into all these details in a little bit, but first I'd like to talk about the benefits of breastfeeding, so that we know why this extra effort to breastfeed is so important. So breastfeeding, why is it so important? Well, as you can see here, babies grow and develop best when they are breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months in life. Now that is something that has been found time and time again in studies. And here are a few reasons and examples of why this is the case. But I first wanted to point out that you can feel free to keep this handout and print it and keep it for yourself as a guide. It'll be attached to the end of the webinar and can be a good resource for you. So first, breastfeeding is a very nutrient-dense food with a large number of antibodies that greatly help to improve a baby's immune system. And because of this improved immunity, breastfeeding protects against several infections, including diarrhea, pneumonia, gastrointestinal infections, urinary tract infections, sudden infant death syndrome, and others. It also helps to prevent the chance of cardiovascular disease and hypertension later in life for that baby. And a study has found that extended duration of breastfeeding, which is longer than the 6 months that we've already mentioned as being beneficial, this increases consumption of vegetables in children aged 4 to 7 years old. Breastfeeding can also create bonding and a feeling of security between the mother and the baby, which can be very important in developing that relationship after birth. And then lastly, nursing releases oxytocin from the mother's pituitary gland. This hormone produces contractions in the uterus that prevent postpartum hemorrhage and therefore promote uterine involution, which is a return of your uterus to its pre-pregnancy state. As we can see from this handout, the benefits of breastfeeding are extensive, and therefore taking steps to remedy the early discontinuation of breastfeeding can have a large positive outcome on long-term health promotion in a baby. So, what is the number one reason women stop breastfeeding? Well, the answer to that is low milk supply. Low milk supply is when a mother does not have the adequate supply to sufficiently feed her baby. This can also be a perceived threat and not actually be low milk supply, but may be something wrong with the technique, which we will go into in a second. So now we're going to take a deeper look into the reasons for this low milk supply, and then even deeper into the nutrition and lifestyle interventions that promote healthy and adequate milk supply. And then lastly, we will go into the different techniques that can be used to reduce the chance of early stoppage of breastfeeding.